Hello, friends, and welcome to Push Come to Shove Poker Cast, the podcast for those interested in the poker lifestyle. My name is Joe, and here with me is Dan Pickering. Dan, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
No John this week. He's off doing some John things, so I got Dan here. And we're gonna talk to Dan. Today is March 21st. And the 23rd episode of Push Comes to Shove. We will still go over kind of the last week in poker, and then I have some I have some interview questions here on the internet. But first, Dan, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What got you into poker?
I'm from Maine.
Okay.
I've been living in Vegas for 5 years now.
All right.
What got me into? I'm 30, so like most 30-year-olds, I got into poker right after the moneymaker movement.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Vegas, I worked, but I knew I wanted to play poker, so I moved out here to build a bankroll. Just kind of like put myself out there and just make sure I did it. It was always the dream.
And now you're living the dream.
Yes, now I am. It took a while though. It took a long time.
For our listeners and viewers that don't know about the moneymaker movement, there was a guy. What was the year? Do you remember?
I think it was 2003.
Yeah, I was gonna say '03. Basically, a guy who didn't know anything about poker won the main event and won $1 bazillion.
Close, yeah.
Pretty much $1 bazillion, and everybody got super hype right there, like, "Oh, this random dude made $1 bazillion playing poker. I can play poker. Let's go!" Right? And then poker blew up, and then a few years later, the U.S. government got very upset at people doing illegal things, and since then, it's been kind of a decline in the U.S. With some ups and downs. But yeah, that's Chris Moneymaker for you. So before I ask you a bunch of questions, I want to go over crazy shit that happened in the last week. We like to tell stories here on the Poker Cast. Do you have any? Because I have a couple.
How about you go first?
All right, I'll go first. So the first one is I was at Caesar's Palace playing a little of that 1-2, playing a little of that 2-5, and I went on I actually had to move tables like $1 bazillion times in a row, which was not great, but I moved from one place to another. I took a little break. And then I came back, moved to another table because my table broke. And they're like, "Hey, can I get your player's card?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." "Oh, where's my wallet?" With my money in it. Fortunately, I had taken most of it out into chips, so I still had those chips, but I didn't have my wallet. And I flipped the fuck out, because there was like probably $1,200 in there. And I looked around where I was. It wasn't there. I looked on my way to the bathroom where I just went to. It wasn't there. Didn't know what the fuck was going on. They called up camera people, and they're like, "Yo, track this guy and see where he dropped his wallet, or if somebody like took it from him." Turns out I sat down for like a minute at a slot machine, like playing on my phone and shit, and it just fell out of my pocket. And then some guy grabbed it and went to some restaurant. And that's that.
So you bought someone dinner.
So I bought someone a lot of dinners. And that's pretty much that. I haven't engaged with the police yet because I don't think it's going to work out. They were trying to see if where the guy went to, if he used like credit card transactions or anything like that under his name. Because I didn't have any credit cards in there. It was just literally cash and players' cards.
Right.
So he didn't. It appears, because they didn't call the floor man that was helping me out back and say, "Oh yeah, he went here and it was this guy." That didn't happen. So probably nothing's going to come of it other than me losing money and learning a valuable lesson, which is don't fucking put your cash in your back right pocket in a wallet that constantly slips out of your back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't use a wallet kind of for that reason.
It's a good reason. I've just learned.
I don't have a better... I just stick it all in my front pocket.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Front pocket's better than your back pocket, turns out. Also, probably backpacks are better. Probably bags are better. I have a jacket where I have like a little, you know, that cool pocket.
Yeah. As long as it's a zipper, that's okay.
There's no zipper, but it's hard to pop out. Anyway, so that's my first story. That was great. Felt great. Very hyped. And then my second one was at the Venetian. We were talking a little bit about it before the show, but I was playing 5-10 over there, and I lost a hand. I only lost $800 aces versus kings when he flopped a king somehow. So that's pretty cool. He like checked a lot. It's great.
Wait, like 1,000 effective?
We were 2,200 effective.
Oh.
22, 24, 26. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just checked and I bet twice and gave up. Because I didn't think he was going to call with worse. He's like, I got a set of kings, bro. Okay. So then I tried to rebuy right afterward. And generally the protocol, for those of you who aren't aware, is you say how much more money you want, or you just flop it on the table, and then you play behind that amount. So I put down $600. At any other casino that I've ever been to ever, they would say seat 9 is 600 behind. So I'm still playing with those $600 in chips, even though the chips don't exist yet. Meanwhile, during the hand, they'll go grab it with the chip runner or whatever, right? So that's what I did. I plopped out my $600 instantly, and the dealer grabbed the deck in his hand, and then he said, oh, yeah, that's going to play next hand. And I was like, what? I need it to play this hand. And he's like, yeah, no, it's not going to. I was like, that's a problem. I need it to play this hand. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, okay, call the floor. They call the floor over. The floor is like, yeah, sorry, once the dealer picks up the deck, cash doesn't play, and we need you to have the chips first. So that's not going to play this hand. And I'm like, okay, go get the chips right now. And they're like, no, yeah, even if we got the chips right now, it's not going to play for this hand because the dealer already grabbed the deck. Well, that's interesting because he didn't. I threw the cash down instantly. Maybe he didn't notice. And he's like, yeah, I already grabbed the deck. Which they didn't even ask him, right? Like the floor person should probably have asked, hey, did you grab the deck? They didn't even ask. They just assumed, oh, you already grabbed the deck. Okay, well, that's not true, but whatever. And then that wasn't going anywhere. So I was like, yeah, I want to speak to your poker manager of the whole room. Not right now, but like, you know, I want to do that. And they're like, okay, we can definitely help you out with that. They go and grab a guy who is not the poker manager, but is the stand-in, so to speak. And we go have a conversation. After I play my hand, turns out I had ace king, and I really wanted that $600 to play, but it didn't matter. Everybody folded, whatever. So I go talk to the guy, and we hash things out, so to speak, where he basically says, yeah, you're right. It's probably a bad rule, but that's the rule, so I gotta, you know, whatever. And he was also saying, like, you know what I should have done? I should have had somebody standing at the 5-10 table in case this happens. And I was like, I agree. If you're going to have a shitty fucking rule like this, you should have somebody monitoring when people pull cash out. That's a shitty, like, thing for you guys to have to do, to hire a high-paid manager and have them stand there and watch me. But, okay. Like, that would be better than what happened. There was another player, a recreational player, that I really wanted to have more money on the table that waited probably 20 minutes to get his chips. And I'm not okay with that. I want to win his money, like, right now. So, what the fuck? So, yeah, that happened. And it was great. I stopped play for probably 10 minutes and was really pissed. So that's me and my crazy shit that happened this week. What do you got?
Well, first of all, it's so inefficient to like even say that they should hire someone.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that hasn't always been the rule, right?
No,
at least I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it. You just reminded me. They were saying both of them pled gaming regulations make us, and I was like, no, they don't, because every single other casino on the strip here has to answer to the same gaming board and regulations, and they don't fucking do that. So no. Stop using that argument. That's a shit argument. That's not true. It's definitely not true. If you guys need to do that to cover your own ass, That's fantastic. Cover your own ass, right? But this particular choice that you made really negatively impacts the players and people like me who play 510 and they have a choice of where to go to. I can't help but notice that you guys haven't run 510 in the past like 9 months or whatever. I wonder why. But yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So like the only the only like rule I'm pretty sure of is that you have to declare whatever money you put down. So the dealer just has to know about it before the hand starts.
Right.
But I think it's usually at their discretion.
Right. And most casinos will do if you haven't looked at your cards, basically.
Right.
And it was way before that. No cards were dealt.
Yeah. I am not a fan of the Venetian.
Nor am I. I don't like jackpots. I like it when they bring shitty players, which it currently is doing. But I don't like them because they take my money. And I don't get it back.
I kind of have one funny story from the Venetian.
Go ahead.
This was a while ago, though.
That's fine.
This was probably when I first moved to Vegas.
5 years ago.
I was playing one of the deep stack tournaments. It was probably like a 300.
You advised that I play those, and I played 4, and I lost all of them. It's pretty good.
Just keep trying.
Well, it turns out at 7 p.m. it's a flip fest, so I don't really like them.
Well, yeah, you gotta be good at flips.
Not good at flips.
So, I'm in the tournament, and I'm in seat 6. And the shuffle machine on the table is directly in front of me. Every time this dealer, is a particular dealer that came in, her pitch, every time she dealt me the cards, it would hit the thing and then, like, flash up. Every single time.
Yep.
So, when that happens to me...
Strong play.
I just instantly turn the card over. I don't care what it is.
Sure.
Even if I didn't see it, if someone could have seen it, I just instantly turn it over.
Yeah.
Well, so the first time it happens, she kind of starts getting mad at me. And I'm like, I just, don't want to play with an exposed card. It's nothing against you. Can we be more careful in the future? And the very next hand, I just don't think she's thinking, and she's just like habit.
Yeah.
Deal the cards. It happens again. I just instantly turn the first card over. She calls the floor over.
On you.
Yeah.
Because it's your fault.
Yeah. And they tell me that because I exposed my hands, that
you have to keep it.
It's a dead hand, and then they give me a penalty.
Weird. They ruled differently.
Right.
A few months ago.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I don't know. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. So, or they told me if I do it again, then like it's a penalty.
Okay.
So this is the third hand it happened again. I was like, I'm not gonna play with this card because these people definitely saw it. So I do it again, and they like kick me out for like not of the whole tournament, but for like 10 minutes or whatever.
They kick you out.
Like a full orbit.
They kick you out.
And I just like
dealer error.
I lose it.
I would be pretty pissed, dude.
I'm surprised.
Those tournaments cost money.
Out of the Venetian that day. Right, and like you can't really win if your opponents can see your cards.
Yeah, by no error of your own.
Yeah.
The dealer, she works there, like those are the tables she deals on every day, and that's her habit. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think it was that table in particular. I think the shuffle machine was kind of sticking out.
Yeah.
But she just kept hitting the right spot. So.
Good stuff. I like it. That's a pretty good story. You got any others?
About this week? Or like recently?
Yeah, recently. You get a couple extra weeks because you're not on the show every week.
That's true. Not a lot of fun stuff. I'm in the middle of a downswing, or hopefully the end of it.
I love those.
They're a lot of fun. Outside of like poker, like when I'm in a downswing, I typically do not get a lot of hours. Yeah. I kind of feel like if I just don't play, it will go away.
Well, yeah. I mean, your mental state can be related, right? You can start playing worse because you're upset.
Yeah.
Etc. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Outside of that, I've just I play a lot of golf, so I've been just trying to do that more.
Golf's cool.
Relax and
I'm into golf.
Yeah.
Grab a couple beers, get on a cart, have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a good golf story that is not appropriate for the air, so we're gonna not say that one right now. Well, if you come up with anything else that happened, I feel like you had a story. Linny Bob in the chat, Dan did answer that he's been in Vegas for 5 years, but yeah, how long have you been playing?
Professionally, 3 years.
How long since you picked up some cards?
Probably 15 years.
Okay.
But like at the beginning, it was just gambling,
goofing around.
Yeah, having fun with friends.
Yeah. Similar story for me, except I've been here a lot less long. So yeah, I'm gonna ask some more questions here. You said that you moved here 5 years ago, and you had somewhat of a job, and you were playing to try to kind of build up a bankroll,
yeah,
so that you could live the dream. And now you're here. But what were your normal everyday people jobs before this?
I had quite a bit of them. When I moved here, I was cooking. I was working in kitchens. So yeah, when I first moved to Vegas, I got my first job on the Strip, but it was making like $10 an hour. So definitely wasn't enough.
Which is a livable wage here.
Sure, but not to like also build a role.
Yeah.
So because I moved out here with $0.
Oh.
So I needed a job immediately.
Yeah.
Luckily, I found it in the first few days. And,
awesome.
Got a second job, and I was working like 100 to 120 hours a week for way too long.
I've never done that.
It was rough.
And I never want to.
No, never again. That's like why I know that not working is so good.
Poker is better than 120 hours behind a stove.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I wouldn't want to play 120 hours poker.
No.
That wouldn't be
like
fun.
Not even in a month.
There's this guy that I met a while ago at Bellagio 510 that I saw again at Venetian recently, who's on some shit right now, man. He's trying to play 16 hours a day for like 3 months or some shit.
Is his name?
He's a twitchy dude.
Connor or
I don't know.
Colton?
I don't know. That sounds about right.
It is. Yeah, I know him. He's a nice kid.
He's very nice and friendly. I like playing with him and goofing around. We played chess at the poker table, and he wrecked me because I was focused on winning money. And also I was really tired. It was like 4 a.m. or some shit, and beat my ass at chess. Yeah, that guy's a funny guy. So cool.
Where do you say you were playing with him?
Venetian.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been playing there a lot that I saw anyway. So when exactly, you said 3 years ago is when you basically quit your normal jobs?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I was playing a lot of home games. I was back and forth between here and Maine a lot. When I first moved out here, there's like something happened, and I moved home for like a while. And I was playing like just like the home games, which are like 1-2 and working and kind of building up a role. I think I still had my place out here too.
Okay.
And I went down to Foxwoods to play a tournament. Mm-hmm. It was the WSOP circuit event. Busted it, and my buddy was down there, and he had a room for an extra night, and he told me I could stay with him. So I stayed with him, and he told me about this other tournament to play, and I was like, I don't really like tournaments, but we'll see.
Same.
So like, I wake up late, and I walk over to like go say hi to him. I think I was about to leave. I was like packed, and he like convinced me to play the tournament.
Nice.
And then like 40 hours later, I won it.
Nice. Strong play.
Yeah.
Good way to build a roll.
It is. It was a quick 30,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Easy game. So that was the moment. You're like, all right, it's fucking time. Let's go.
Yeah. 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 I was down there. I was playing cash. I was playing 2-5 down there at Foxwoods.
Okay. Never been there. Famous poker room.
It's very big. But like 2-5 is usually the biggest game they have, and it's a 500 cap.
Well, they play a lot of limit, right?
They do, yeah.
So I'd be down.
A lot of stud.
Be down. I don't know about stud. I'm probably bad at stud, but try some stud 8. Get in there with the high low. Yeah, I think I could maybe win there. Linny Bob again in the chat. Are you successfully supporting yourself by playing poker? I'm just gonna say yes on that one. That's a yes.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention how we met. So we met at 2-5 at Caesars, if I'm remembering correctly. And my memory of the scenario was, I noticed that you were one of the better players because you 3-bet occasionally. I'm like, okay, that's good. And you were like funny and goofy and whatever, joking around. And I don't know why I grabbed your number, but I did. And we started like texting and talking about poker and seeing each other occasionally. That's pretty much that. You played 2-5 primarily?
Mostly, yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Well, yeah, I was trying to remember how we met actually. I knew it was at Caesars, but I don't remember the occasion.
We were playing with this other guy. Forgot his name, but I see him at this chess club I go to.
It's pretty popular in the poker community, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. When I go to play there at the Las Vegas Chess Center, there are people talking about poker every single time.
That's crazy.
100% of the time.
Where is that?
It's dude, I don't know this city. You go west. It's kind of like near Chinatown.
Okay.
In an office building. There's like a lot of kid-related office buildings there for like learning centers and chesses. I don't know if you know, but it's a lot of the industry revolves around kids.
I did not know that.
Kids learning, kids going to camps, kids playing tournaments. Yeah. LVCC, that's right. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. So you play 2-5 primarily, right?
Yes.
How long has that been the case? And do you have goals of moving up? Tell me about you and that.
So I also play a lot online. I don't know exactly how much, but it's probably close to like a 50-50 split.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing some 5-10 earlier this year and the end of last year. But I mean, it's all about bankroll management for me and most professionals. So I went through a downswing, and so I stopped playing some 5-10.
Okay.
But yeah,
so you took a shot didn't work out.
Well, it actually was funny. Every time I played 5-10, I won. It was just at random other times I would just go. If the games weren't good, I was playing 2-5 during the week or something.
So you lost at your primary game.
Yeah, I got so crushed.
I have the opposite experience so far. I get crushed at 5-10, often while playing great, and then 2-5, I just win all my money. Where all my money comes from. 2-5 and 1-2. Like, I make a sick amount hourly at 1-2 so far. But so yes, you would plan to move up if the bankroll allows for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, or the goal is by summer to for sure be playing 5-10 at the Rio.
That'd be cool.
Every day.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't spent a summer here, so I don't know what to expect other than like it's gonna be crazy busy and you can play whatever the heck you want at whatever limit you want, and call very far ahead and get there and wait is about all I know as far as cash.
It's usually not that bad. You kind of you definitely want to look up the tournament schedule and then focus on the big tournament days and then go play cash those days for sure.
Get crushed.
Right. So I don't know what a good the Monster Stack event. That's brings in so many poker players. The cash games are usually really good around that.
And I also hear competing things from different people. Like I have friends and people I talk to in LA that are like, "Oh, why would you ever play cash in Vegas during the series? All the good players just went there to do that."
Right.
Why wouldn't you stay wherever you are if it's not already in Vegas, or why wouldn't you go to LA or something, which will have lost a bunch of their good players? While also I hear from people, a lot of people here, they're like, oh my god, the cash is so good. Oh my god, I make all my money during the series playing cash. So I don't know what to do about that.
So from my experience, the average day is obviously just way better than throughout the rest of the year in Vegas.
Okay.
But it is true, like the games, like there's a lot more games and there's a lot more pros in town.
Yeah.
Like some of the games can definitely be harder. You just kind of have to game select. So like 2 or 3 years ago, I was primarily playing at Caesars, and Caesars was probably the best 2-5 game in Vegas at the time.
Not true now.
Not true now, right?
Probably the worst.
This last summer, I was, I like the room a lot. I like that the 2-5 is the biggest game, so it's in the back and you have all that space.
Yeah. The dealers are nice. Everybody's
right.
nice and friendly. And at the time last summer, they had the best rake, right?
Right. I think it was $4.
Yeah.
But now,
lots of positive.
Last summer, those games were terrible at Caesars. So probably won't spend a ton of time there this summer.
Same. I don't know why crushers go there every time. Every table is so bad.
And they don't leave.
No.
We just
they
like
stay there
play
for
against
20
each other.
fucking hours.
Right. I don't know.
I leave there and I'm like, oh, that fucking guy. I go the next day and he's still there. And I'm like, what the fuck? All right. No playing at Caesars. Another question from the chat is summer poker season in Vegas and why? Yes, and because the World Series of Poker, I think is the short answer to that. That's the biggest event in poker worldwide yearly, and it brings tons and tons of people. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it starts June 1st, ends around July 18th. And there's just probably on like 5 tournaments happening a day.
Yeah.
Throughout that period at a bunch of different casinos.
Yep. Let's see. What other questions do I have?
So that I kind of remembered something I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
About moving up and everything. So it was a few weeks ago. I was playing, I think maybe a month ago actually now. The World Series was at, the circuit was at the Rio.
Okay.
And I was playing cash there. They have a 2-5 uncapped game. It was pretty good. Getting crushed, but it was good.
Okay.
And
good game, losing money.
There's this guy there. We're talking, and he like eventually tells me that he knows a bunch of people that are like some of the best professionals.
Okay.
In the world right now. And how he knows a lot of people who back players and stuff like that.
Okay.
And we were also talking about how, like some of these players are backed, some of those amazing players are backed, and
sure,
is something that I would want to do. And when he left, he gave me his number, and he was like, send me a text or call me and like let me know if I can help you out getting like up to those stakes that you want to. And I haven't done anything with that yet because I went home immediately after, and I just don't know what I would say.
Yeah, it's weird
because it seems like potentially a great scenario.
Yeah,
and he was pretty legitimate. There was another guy there that I've known for a while through Vegas poker scene who I trust, and he was like, yeah, the guy is legit about everything he's saying.
Okay. Yeah, that's a weird thing because there's a lot to balance in your mind there. Like, if you don't have money to play in the bigger games, then you can get backers potentially to play in those bigger games, but are you gonna make more, like more per hour playing those bigger games, right? They would have to be worse games. Or else, what's the point other than challenging yourself? I guess.
Yeah.
They would have to be like really bad players.
Sorta. So like, I mean, if you're playing big enough, and
Yeah.
if you're capable of beating that game. So like if I start playing like, I don't know what it would be, but like 25-50.
Sure.
I mean, there's no way even if I just take half of that, it wouldn't be higher than 2.5 hourly if I'm beating the game.
If you're beating the game for the same proportion, which...
Or even a smaller proportion.
But...
Right?
Well, no. If you had a smaller proportion, you're getting backed. How are you making more?
Than my 2.5 hourly?
Yeah, because they're getting that extra percentage, right? If you're... Let's make the math easy. Let's say you're getting 90% staked. You're taking home 10%. Then when you win 10 times as much, you still take home the same amount, right?
I think most backing deals kind of start around like 50-50 with makeup.
Tell me about the makeup.
So if I go in and like lose 3 buy-ins, I don't start making 50% of the profits until I've paid all that off.
Interesting. And this is a full stake or
a
50% stake?
Full stake.
So full stake, you win 50% of the profits.
Right.
That's a great deal.
Maybe. I don't really know how staking works, but I think that is like a thing.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to do it, right?
Right.
But yeah, if you're not liable for any of the money, but you take home half of the positive winnings.
That seems very good.
I would do that. I would do that right now. I'll hop in 25.50 at Bellagio tomorrow, bro.
Well, yeah. So
I'm ready to go.
if the deal is good enough, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Always move up. Always challenge yourself. And
if you're not paying the losses.
Right.
I'll play whatever, dog. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that...
Give me 10% of the profits. I'm there. Why not?
I want to say that's how most stakes work, but...
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
not.
not sure that that's true. Typically, I would think that... I don't know. I guess it depends on the player in question and how good that they think that you are. Because those super huge name pros, yeah, they may actually pay none of their... Say a tournament buy-in. I think that's an easier way to do it. Let's say they're playing a 10K buy-in event, right? They might sell different portions, like 20% to this dude, 20% to that guy, 20% to this person. And then they're still getting some of the winnings, right? So they might 1% or 5% mark it up because they are kind of the sellable asset is, hey, I'm going to win a lot of the time, right? So then they get like the better end of the deal. But I think I would be surprised if somebody like you or me would be getting the beneficial side of the deal, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I would be outrageously surprised if they were to offer you no downside, 50% of the profits if you are ahead. I think that would be a crazy deal that you should snap, call, and do right now. I think it would be more likely they're like, all right, we're going to 90% back you. You have to pay for 10% of the buy-in still, and then you get, 9% of the profits or something like that. I think that would make more sense for them. Unless they do really feel strongly about your play, then you would get maybe you're in for 10%, but you get 15% or you get 20% of the wins or something like that. I think would be more reasonable, but I don't know. Maybe people are crazy out there and they're just trying to throw money at kids. I don't fucking know, but... Yeah, that sounds stupid, dude.
So
I would never back you like that. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. That's not happening, dude.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
here's my money, and you get half the profits. What?
So what I've been struggling with is because I have to get in contact with the guy because it's potentially too good of a opportunity. So
sure.
What do I say, or what do I text him?
What's the deal? Is what I would want to know. What are the terms, sir?
Well, it wouldn't be through him. He said that. He said
get you in contact with the other guys.
Right. We talked for a while. He was a really friendly guy, and
yeah, I don't know, man. I wish you the best of luck, though.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to help you determine what's a good deal or not. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know about all that. I would say, assuming that it's even money, so to speak, I probably would never take the deal. If I'm not gaining anything except capital to work with so that I can be in a bigger game, I don't particularly want to play 10-20, dude. Like, those kids are good. I'm pretty sure, man. It's like a bunch of 26-year-old crushers every time I look, anyway. Is that the case at 25-50? Now it might start to swing in the other direction where it's like a bunch of rich businessmen.
Right.
Okay, now at an even money stake, yeah, let's go, actually. Maybe. Right? I'd have to look at the players and make some sort of judgment call. But I think unless you're getting a benefit out of the deal, I don't know, probably not.
I mean, like, one benefit is that you're getting better. You're playing against better opponents.
I don't want to play against better opponents. I'm good off that. If it was, again, a beneficial deal where I'm like cashing funds, so to speak, based on the deal, then sure, I'll play against better players. But if it was even money, right?
Like,
no,
you're making
good,
the same
dude.
hourly?
No, like let's use the 25-50 10% idea. So let's say I'm still putting in the same amount, right? My buy-ins are still 1K, and I'm getting backed an additional 9K to sit down there to play 25-50, right? But I get 10% of the wins, and I take 10% of the losses. I don't particularly want to play that game unless they're bad, right? I don't want to just artificially move up stakes to play against harder opponents to get better. I would rather wait until I have that money and I decide that it's a better hourly decision. Because, yeah, my hourly should actually go down, right? If I'm getting 10% of a stake that is 10% larger and I'm playing against better opponents, my hourly will go down. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not interested. Give me the bad players. I would rather play a bad player 1-2 table than a good player 5-10 table. Because actually my hourly will be better, it turns out. So far, anyway. But I don't have a lot of hours at 5-10, so it's kind of tough for me to make that judgment with perfect info. Yeah. All right, I have another question.
Sure.
What are the most common mistakes you think that a general player that you play against makes? Like, what are all the bad players doing, and what are maybe some of the mistakes that you see good players doing a lot? I'll chime in with my thoughts as well.
So probably for like bad players, the first thing that I notice is limping.
Limping's bad, dude.
Open limping, definitely.
Open limping, real bad.
Or at least without like a good strategy with it.
I would say no. Open limping's
almost
just
never.
bad.
Right.
Open limping's just bad.
Not a strategy that I want to do, but
maybe
some people might be able to.
Maybe you can do it under the gun. Maybe.
Right.
But like mid position open limping, what are you doing? I would add to that, over limping, a single limper is almost exactly as bad.
Yeah.
If there's like 4 people limping ahead of you, okay, now we have a lot of arguments for limping over them. But what is limping? Asks Lenny Bob in the chat. It's when you just call the preflop blind bet. So if it's $2, $5 are the blinds, just calling $5 would be a limp, or a just call. But yeah.
Yeah, so by limping, you don't give yourself the opportunity to win the blinds that are out there. So in 2-5, there's a small blind of $2 and a big blind of $5. An average size raise is around $20.
Yep.
So if you raise to 20, you can generate folds through the blinds out there. So you have an opportunity to win the dead money.
Yep.
Whereas by just calling, you give them the chance to see the flop and win the hand.
Yep. Also, after the flop, you don't have kind of the go-ahead to be the guy, generally speaking, in No Limit Hold'em anyway. When somebody raises pre-flop, they're going to bet again on the flop most of the time, right? So you have a little bit more power, and you have initiative, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You have the initiative as the pre-flop raiser. When you just limp, you also give that up. So That's not good. And then you also, a lot of the time, will be giving up position, right? Because if you limp, it's more likely people behind you are also going to limp than if you had raised. If you had raised, they're going to fold more. So you have a better position relative to the rest of the table. There's a lot of things that you're giving away when you're limping, especially, as you were talking about, if you don't have a good strategy around it, it then becomes much easier to read what type of hands you have, right? You don't have aces most of the time, right? Most people don't limp aces, but they limp like, 60% of the time. You happen to know you probably don't have aces or kings or queens or ace king or jacks.
Right.
I kind of know what you got, bro.
So it's not very balanced.
Not balanced and just generally bad. Any other common...
From bad players?
Yeah, and good players.
And good players. Definitely not 3-betting enough.
Agreed.
And 4-betting enough.
Agreed.
And probably 5-betting enough.
Yeah, raising is good.
Right.
It's pretty good. They fold a lot, it turns out.
They do folds. I think people fold way too much.
People fold a lot when you 3 and 4-bet.
Right.
So much. It's great.
I think that is the biggest mistake I see consistently is just way over folding.
That could also be related to like opening too wide, maybe. Like
sure, yeah.
Maybe they have to fold that much because they have such shit hands so often. If that makes any sense.
Right, but then they should still be calling with a percentage of the hands that they opened. So
yeah, I agree.
I doubt they do. So.
I agree. They fold a lot. It's great when you 3-bet and 4-bet and 5-bet a lot. I am consistently the person who 3 and 4-bets the most at my table when I'm playing deep anyway. I mean, not at 1-2, right? I'm not going to play 1-2 for 300 and 3-bet a bunch with random shit, but I will at 5-10 for sure. I will at 2-5 for sure. Except 2-5 Bellagio. But
right.
that's 100 big blinds.
Yeah, just get it in pre-flop.
Yeah, just jam it in there. What was I going to say on that topic? Limping's bad. 3-betting's good. 4-betting's good.
Too much folding.
Too much folding. But also too much calling. Also too much... Here's what I was going to say. Good players, quote unquote, I think they bluff too much, actually. I think they bluff just shitty hands. Like, maybe the situation makes sense, but then they turn over their hand, and I'm like, what? Why did you pick that hand, though?
Right.
Why didn't you pick a hand that had a blocker somewhere in there? Yeah, you're right that guy only had middle pair, and he called you fucking anyway, and that sucks for you, but you need, like, a better, I don't know, strategy around when you're gonna choose to bluff and when you're not.
That's my friend in the chat.
I don't even know how to say his name, dude.
That's the guy from, what was that show? I can't remember the name of it. Most Extreme Challenge or something.
Okay. I'm familiar with that. What does that have to do with his name or comment?
So the guy's, it's like Guy Ledouche. He was the announcer for the show.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
These are the ones that are like dubbed, right? They're like Asian goofy stuff and then English goofy dubs.
Yeah.
Lenny Bob in the chat again. Questions popping off. So now that you know each other's strategies, does that mean you can't play together at the same table? I would say that we don't fully understand each other's strategies. Also, even if we did, that doesn't mean we shouldn't play at the same table. If it's me and Dan and 7 really shitty players, I want to be at that table. 100%. Especially if we know each other's strategies. Because then we can just, have an even money exchange across each other. And then we're winning money off of the other shitty players.
Right.
So that would be ideal. That would be fantastic. I would rather he go home and another shitty player shows up, of course, but it'd still be great. I would love that. And that, I would say, is often the case.
Yeah. And you are kind of forced to play against a lot of the same players.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Even though there's like way more tables and way more casinos here, there's so many more pros than where I'm used to playing that, yeah, you just see the same people all the time. In San Jose, where I grew up, if I went to Garden City at the time, or Bay 101, or Lucky Chances, I see the same people less. Like, I feel like there was a larger pool of rotating players, if that made any sense. Like, random dudes coming in one night off of work or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I see the same faces everywhere all the time. All the time. Yeah.
That actually reminds me, I'm going to be headed to Houston for a while.
Oh.
For at least a few weeks, I think, in April.
Don't they not poker in Texas?
No. So the word on the street is that Austin and Houston have poker rooms.
Oh.
That are like legal, and they're like,
oh.
It's like, I think the membership type. It's where you pay X amount to get in, and then they don't rake.
I got you. That sounds great.
Yeah.
If you can put in the hours, which I can.
Yeah. So I know a couple people from Houston, and they have told me that it's a mistake to not be in Houston right now. So.
Wow.
I'm going to go check it out.
Let me know, bro.
Yeah.
I might follow you. I gotta like still do my taxes and shit, so I should probably do that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'm down, bro. I want to go. I want to win money. I like easy money. Yeah, any place where you're just starting to introduce poker is probably a place I want to be. Another question from the chat: do you guys have reps in the poker community? If so, what are they? I don't think I do. Really?
What does that mean?
Reputation?
Oh. No, I don't think so.
I think depending on the people that you're... If you were to ask other people about me that have played with me, you would get wildly different views. Some of them would be like, I don't know, man, this guy's fucking stupid. He just does retarded bluffs that make no fucking sense. And then the other people would be like, no, he's pretty... He just like always scoops the pot. Just kind of like depends on the day. Sometimes nothing works and I look fucking retarded. And sometimes I am. Sometimes I do dumb stuff. Dan saw this the other day at Aria. It was like 2 weeks ago. I did some dumb stuff that night, bro. It was pretty stupid. So, you know, players sitting across me there would be like, this guy's fucking stupid, man. But, I don't know. Most of the time I'm winning.
Like, other players are going to have different strategies, too. So the way that they view you are going to be different, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
He's just 3-bets all the time.
Right.
Why is he 3-betting all the time? He's just crazy.
Right.
Well, because you fold all the time, dude. That would be why. Yeah, I would say that's my rep. Probably with floor people, they probably, in general, if you put him in a room and we're like, how you feel about Joe? They'd be like, he's kind of an asshole, man. Like, he's such a stickler for everything all the time. Why can't he just chill the fuck out? Probably would say that. And then depending on the dealer, you might hear, he never fucking tips me. Or you would hear, he's the nicest guy, man. I love, you know, dealing at his table. He's so friendly and kind. Depending on the dealer. Some people I just refuse to tip because they're that bad, dude. They're that bad. They should quit. They should get a new job.
Yeah. You should go to Foxwoods.
To see more of that, or what?
Yes.
I don't want that.
It's a sight. It's awesome.
Isn't it kind of like that during the series when they hire on a bunch of like shitty dealers?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm about to see that anyway, right?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
But like, you know that's like you already know. Like
you're prepared.
These people are temporary dealers.
Yeah.
They're not like they haven't been doing this for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So you don't really expect the best, but at Foxwoods,
where you should be able to expect the best.
Right. It was,
world renowned.
The biggest poker room in the country, maybe. Yeah, they
have a rep behind them.
They do have a rep, and it's not a good one.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I want to go there now. What was I about to say? I don't know. Any other things that shitty or good players do that are bad that you see a lot? I don't know what woke means.
I don't know. The worst, probably.
Worst of all time.
Worst of all time. Got it.
There you go.
I definitely agree that a lot of good players are bluffing too much too.
Yeah, just really retarded hands.
But I think that's like because of like
because people overfold.
Well, yeah, but no. But I was gonna say because of like all the information out there in poker now, like upswing and run it once and
yeah, but they still like do it smarter.
Right, but like I don't think people knew how to bluff before, but now like they can see it, like and,
they're just bad at it.
Right, because I don't think they've like run out like their ranges for like each spot or like enough spots.
That's very complicated.
So I think people just take like a hand and they're like, well, I got to bluff now.
It's at the bottom of my range, bro.
Exactly.
I just have to, right? No. You should also probably have blockers. At least, right? I think it's more complicated than that, and you should go more in depth. But like at least have some blockers, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I played a hands online the other day and I wrote it down. I have not thought about it.
Is it time?
Probably terrible.
Is it time?
I don't know. Is it?
I think it's time. I'm gonna open the window because I'm very warm.
Okay.
So deal with it. But yeah, grab your hand, bro. Hopefully people aren't super loud outside. That would suck. Oh no, the lighting. The lighting got worse. Oh, we're fine. Now it got better. Now it got worse. I'm very picky about lighting. I'm just gonna do this live. That's a bad idea.
What about the gamma?
We're gonna fuck with the colors while you do your hand.
All right, so you want me to start?
Yeah.
All right, so 1-2 on WSOP.
1-2. No limit hold'em. 6-handed, right?
Yes.
6 players at the table.
6 players at the table. The hijack opens.
This would be under the gun 2 also, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To 3/4 pot, whatever that is.
525.
525, yeah.
Turns out.
And then I'm in the cutoff with 9-8 of clubs.
All right.
And
possible 3-bet, possible
yes.
call, possible fold.
Right. I think they all work. But the most fun option is definitely raise.
Obviously.
And like I know some of the players behind, and there's worse spots.
Okay.
So I went for it. So I 3-bet.
Good start.
About 3.2x. He calls. The flop is the 9 of hearts, jack of clubs, 3 of hearts. And
9 of hearts, jack of clubs, 3 of hearts.
I have 9-8 of clubs.
2 clubs.
Yes.
So you got a pair and a backdoor flush draw.
Backdoor straight draw.
Backdoor straight draw. Nice little mid pair.
Right. So he checks. And to start, we're like 120 bigs effective.
120 bigs, so that is 280?
240? Something like that. Okay.
If it's 140 bigs, it's 280.
Oh, 120. Yeah, whatever that. Yeah, 120 to 140 bigs. Somewhere around there. 250-ish.
250-ish.
What are you doing on that flop?
2 hearts. There's an overcard.
Yep.
We block some of the draws we would want them to call with a little bit. So it's kind of in between, man. What do you know about player X here?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
He's playing at multiple tables. It's the first day I've seen his name, actually.
I'm going to give you a shitty answer. I would bet sometimes and I would check sometimes.
Right. Well,
I would probably check mostly.
Sure. That's not what I went with.
Bets are okay.
I went with the more fun option of trying to win the pot right now.
Sure.
I bet 3-4 spot.
Okay. I don't know how many dollars we're at here, but I'm going to go with the flow.
Right. I didn't write that part down, so.
You could math it out, but who cares?
So he min raises.
Ooh. That's dirty.
Right. So I want to say it was like 20. I don't know. Maybe I bet like 20, 25, and you min raised to 40.
I know people will listen to this, and I shouldn't say it, but I like never fold to min raises ever.
Oh, yeah.
Almost ever.
Yeah. I don't care if I have nothing.
Yeah.
As long as I have like one over.
Yeah. I have some sort of backdoors maybe. I'm not sure. Call.
Yeah, so obviously not folding.
Obviously. Because you could get trips, dude.
Right. Which could be good. Sometimes it's bad.
Could be good.
But then they could turn into
could
quads.
lose all your money, yeah.
Trips turn into quads, and then good things happen.
Then you're good.
So I call.
Turns an 8.
The turn is the 10 of spades.
Okay.
So now it's 9 of hearts, jack of clubs, 3 of hearts, 10 of spades.
And then what does he do?
He bets half pot.
He bets.
Yeah.
How can we fold?
I don't know how.
I don't know how we can fold with the straight draw.
I now have a straight draw.
You now have a real life straight draw.
Yeah.
And a pair.
And a pair.
And those trips could still be good.
Trips almost certainly still good.
So wait, what was the color of the turn?
Spade.
So it doesn't matter.
Black. Yeah.
So we call.
Of course.
Clearly. And then the river.
River is the ace of diamonds.
Okay.
Check
or bet?
He checks. And so I lied. We were actually 200 bigs effective, I think. So closer to 200 bigs.
Lots of money.
So I have a pot size bet right now.
Do you make it? That's the question.
Do you?
What is the total board? 9, jack, 10.
3, ace. 9, jack, 3, 10, ace.
9, jack, 3, 10, ace.
And the jack is the non-heart on the flop, so...
Min raised us.
He did.
Bet. And then he checked the ace. You could basically rep ace-high flush draws? Does it get there? Is that what your bluff says? Is that what it says? Or like, I played really tricky with some 2 pairs for a set?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I haven't really thought about it, but I definitely think I have a ton of hands I want to be jamming in that river for value. Maybe not a ton, but like enough. And then
what was the color of the river?
Not a heart.
Not the one that.
And there is no backdoor flush draw.
Not the flush.
Right. So like, if I ever 3-bet like ace jack or ace 10, which is like maybe a percentage of the time, or not ace 10 because the 10 was on the turn, but or ace 3, maybe that's pretty optimistic. But
ace jack,
ace 3 with a backdoor flush draw, maybe
ace jack, aces, jacks.
Right, and to a min raise, I'm not always just going to be bombing or like re-raising flop.
Yeah.
With like top set.
Yeah.
So, I think I have a lot of sets. Maybe not. Probably not. I don't have 3s.
It's good that you don't have hearts. That's positive.
It's very good, yeah. So yeah, I rip it in there. I go all in.
Of course.
And he folds.
Nice.
It was a good outcome.
Nice.
I still need to like look over it to see if it was actually like a good play, but
trying to think.
I'm gonna guess no.
I'm trying to think of your best bluffs.
Right.
And I don't know that that's one of them. It is good that you don't have hearts. You don't want to have hearts.
Right.
Having the 8 might be positive, maybe. I'm not sure. Having a pair of 9s probably doesn't help your bluffing. My question is whether check back, like, could you ever win?
It seems hard.
It seems very difficult, but possible. What if he was min raising you with a bare flush draw that missed?
Like, but he like pretty much only has like king queen.
Yeah, that's not a lot of hands. No, king queen is a straight, dude. You lose to king queen.
Yeah, I don't want him to have king queen.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I guess you can't win a lot. What is he min raising? That he's folding.
I don't know.
What the fuck? I don't like min raises. I wish they were abolished.
Yeah. So later, I need to like figure out what I have for value.
How do you win a hand that somebody min raised?
I don't know.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that happen. How do min raisers lose, dude? I don't know.
You'd think that we should start min raising more.
No.
Since you can't lose.
People fold to so many min raises, and I'm just fucking blown away, dude. Sometimes it makes sense.
I feel like I've never seen anyone fold to a min raise.
I've seen a lot of min raise folds. I've seen so many. Like, old guy min raises, and then the other guy folds. Like,
I always feel like it's like a snap fold, and they don't know the exact size of the raise. They just know that there's a raise, so they just like fold.
I have air.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes your air should call, depending on.
Yeah, definitely.
So they just don't do pot odds, and they're like, I have ace high. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Min raises are weird too, because they don't mean anything, really. It could be like, I'm trying to see where I'm at with my middle pair. It could be, I have a combo draw. It could be, you know, I actually have the nuts, and I'm not scared. It could be anything. I don't mean anything. Really weird. Except from certain players, right? You play with the same guy 1,000 hours, and he always min raises with top set. Okay.
Oh, I hate that because you can still never fold.
I don't
but
know.
you're just like, I'm going to lose all the money.
I would fold at some point. Depending on what kind of draw, right? If I'm like flush draw, like, go bro. But I'm not hoping for that 9. I'm not hoping for that 9. Trying to see a cheap river. Yeah. So it could be like, I have a draw, min raise, and then hope it goes check. Like, it's so weird. Like a limit play that I do, actually, and it works.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't like min raises. So that's a cool hand. I would be interested to see what you think the resulting answer is at the very end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
You get in the lab and you're like, no, that was bad. That was a bad bluff. Yeah. I think it's okay.
I mean, it's probably like marginal every street, and then the river. That's probably what it is.
Well, clearly marginal 3-bet. Clearly marginal bet on the flop. Right. Clearly.
Turn is probably where I made my best decision. Yeah.
You probably have to call the turn. I don't know how you would ever fold. With a whole pot size bet behind, how are you gonna fold? Can't fold because you could just bluff. Well, that's an interesting hand. I don't think I have interesting hands for the last week, though that's typically part of our show. I don't know. I felt like all the hands I internally resolved all my hands, if that makes any sense. I was like, yep, that was a bad bet. Or whatever. That was a bad call. Yep, Or like the rest of it was pretty good. I guess last night there was one. Do a lot of amateur players give away their hands? Yes, sirree. They sure do. Sometimes they trick you, but
sometimes they also just show you.
Sometimes they literally just show you. Hey, I thought about something recently that we might as well talk about. Let me remember the exact scenario. Well, I guess we should answer this first, though. It's full. What are some of the dumb ways they give away their hands? Flipping it over is a really dumb way. That happens. Not super often, but sometimes they'll accidentally, literally show you.
Yeah. So not accidentally either.
Sometimes on purpose. When it's like not your turn yet, they'll be like, whatever. Like they assume you're going to check, and they just show you. I guess I bet, because you have a worse hand, bro. But more often, for me, it's like their mannerisms and stuff. Like, especially drunk dudes will just clearly feel how their hand is, and they'll show their feelings on their body. We could get into a super deep conversation about, do you actually want to care about tells, and should you change your play based on tells? But there are some times where it's completely super mega ultra obvious that they feel a particular way. But I get tricked every once in a while. I'd say probably like 1 out of every I don't know, 40 times or something, guy's just straight tricking me, and I like do the wrong thing. It feels bad.
It feels that's one of the worst feelings.
That is one of the worst feelings when I get played by somebody like lying through their teeth. Yeah. I'm just like, fuck. You know, the other 39 times when a different guy says that same thing, he fucking means it, and I do the right thing, and it's great. So it's profitable, but that one time feels so bad. Yeah. I used to feel that way about people who'd flat big pairs pre-flop when I 3-bet or 4-bet. They just like flat with aces or kings. I used to feel like that was some tricky bullshit, and now I just think it's good a lot. Check them ranges and shit.
Sometimes.
What was I gonna say? I had a thing. I was thinking. Dan, you say stuff while I think.
What? Kind of like when your mom says, "How much can I bet?"
What? Yeah, sure. How much am I allowed to bet in a limit game? That's a pretty good tell. How much? What's the maximum? How much can I bet?
I like saying stuff like that at poker tables, especially when I go somewhere new. Like when I go to Houston, I'll definitely throw out a bunch of like, how much I'm allowed to bet, or like, I don't know.
What do I do when I have a bad hand? It's called checking? Oh, okay.
Right.
God, I had a really cool thing to think about. What was it? Damn it. Oh. Alright. So how do you feel about the idea of protecting recreational players?
How so?
Like, you have recreational player A and pro player B, and pro player B is getting on player A's nerves. Player B is trying to shove a straddle down everybody's throat, and the recreational player A is like, I don't really want to do that. Stuff like that. Well, how do you feel about, for example, I would say 99% of the time I'm gonna be like, hey, dude doesn't want to straddle, I don't want to straddle, we're not gonna straddle, and try to protect the interests of the bad guy who's here having fun. I'm going to do everything in my power that's reasonable to keep that guy here and to get the other guy out of here. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So sort of along those lines, I had a conversation with last time I played at Venetian with a few other poker players. The whole table was just like wearing headphones and
fuck that,
and sunglasses.
Fuck that.
And there's
not a fan.
There's this one guy in particular who was really bad.
Oh, that light's going out. That's what my problem is. Figured it out.
Can we turn it back on?
No, it's just running out of batteries. I need better rechargeable batteries. Sorry, audio listeners. My lighting sucks.
So we have this one whale at the table, and
awesome.
He's drunk and he's very willing to lose a lot of money.
Awesome.
And he's trying to have fun.
I never win off them, but that's great.
So I'm the only guy talking to him.
Man, those fucking assholes.
Right.
Fuck those guys.
And he's talking about how, this table sucks. He's like,
it's boring.
I just want to have fun. Right.
Nobody's paying attention. It's slow.
Right. So the guy ends up losing. He loses 1,000. But he was definitely the type of guy that would have been willing to lose or buy in for a lot of money and make the game good and have fun.
Yep. But instead he leaves.
He leaves, and I'm just like, I was so
fuck
mad.
Y'all.
Right. And I was like, take your goddamn headphones off.
Yeah, man.
And
engage in some fucking conversations. Please.
Sometimes you need to. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm in the midst of a downswing. It's hard to always try to have fun at the table.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to try. I think that is part of being a poker player.
Yeah.
Is
customer service, man.
Yeah.
We've talked about that concept on this show a lot, and I feel a little skeezy and dirty, but mostly it's a good idea.
I don't think it's, because if you think about it as they're there for entertainment.
Yeah, you're giving them what they want.
Right.
While also getting what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah. symbiotic relationship. They need the pros to be sitting there 24 hours a day so that they have somebody to play against.
Right.
Else they can't come have fun.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That shit bugs the shit out of me. Why did I bring up...
Protecting the recreational players?
Ah, yes. Here's one thing that I'm a little conflicted about. And it happened again last night. I think when I'm conscious about it, I do one thing, and when I'm not, I don't. You're in a situation where, let's say on the river, your opponent bets, you call, heads up.
I like it.
It's his turn to show, right?
Oh. Yeah.
And he says, I missed, bruh. What would you do? To a rando guy you don't know.
So I don't know.
You don't know if he's good. You don't know if he's bad. You don't know if he's recreational. You don't know if he's a pro. You don't know if he's going to get upset. You don't know if he's just going to muck.
So
what do you do?
So that kind of brings up, like, the funniest part to poker about me is, like, the stereotypes. And, like, how you can, like, you can look at someone and kind of tell, like, almost instantly how long they've been at the poker tape, like, how many hours they've spent playing.
Sure.
So, like,
most of the time.
So, like, the guy wouldn't necessarily be random. I just saw him play one hand.
He just sat down.
Right, but I still, like, can see him, so.
That's true.
I mean, like, if he's, like, the most in-between person, I guess, you know, I would probably, I don't know. Like, if I think he's a recreational player, I'm always showing my hand.
Right. But if you're just going to immediately flip, right? So that you can keep them happy.
Right.
And also, it doesn't particularly matter what kind of dog shit that they were bluffing with. You're not going to, like, gain information because they were just probably throwing out a rando bluff.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a lot of information. So, like, if there's a chance that I think the person is there to make money and it's the very first hand,
then always wait.
I'm going to probably make them show.
Yeah.
But if, like, they're drinking a beer and they're for sure there to have fun, I'm not going to make them show ever.
Well, I'll give last night as an example. I was at Caesars playing 1-2, actually. 2-5 was bad. I don't know why I keep going there, but hey, I did. And
gotta get the diamond, right?
Fuck, man. I don't care about that.
Awesome.
I get free parking, so I'm good.
It's free rooms, though.
Free rooms?
Yeah, I get free rooms like twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I do want that. So I'm playing 1-2 for a while, and I was actually at Aria previously, so I'm on like my 7th hour playing or something like that. I'm actually quite tired. And this guy shows up, and like the first hand that I have ever paid attention to this guy, that kind of situation happens. He went all in, I think, on like the flop or turn. He went all in on the flop, and I call with top 2. And we get to showdown, and he's like, I missed. And I just like literally don't even look or say anything. I have never looked at this guy before this hand. During this hand, I've never looked at this guy. He's just there. He's just a player, seat 2 to me. I don't know anything about him. I wasn't in a great mood or whatever. So he gets fucking pissed. He got like fucking livid. He's like, I don't have shit. Show your head. And I'm like, just staring at the board, just waiting. The dealer's motioning to him, you know, because it is his turn to open. So the dealer's like, come on, you know, flip your hand over. And the guy like fucking throws it. He just slams it down for an ace high flush draw that missed. And made some other comment about like, piece of shit, what is this? The fucking, what did he say? What did he say? What is this? The fucking etiquette table? And I just didn't say anything from there. Like, at that point, I'm not going to de-escalate. There's no way that me saying sorry is going to help at all whatsoever. I've already done the bad deed, clearly, of not just flipping it over to make the guy happy. And luckily, he rebuyed and continued to play like shit. So I got very lucky that time. But I was thinking, like, I was internally upset. Like, man, I should have looked at the guy. Man, I should have figured out that he was recreational because he only bought in for, like, 200 instead of 300. And should have just shown, man. I should have maybe not pissed off the guy. But
I forgot that was a 1-2 table.
It was a 1-2 table.
Jesus.
He was so mad. He was so mad. It was pretty funny. I was kind of glad it happened, especially when he stayed. I was like, oh, that was perfect. But yeah, he was very upset. Like, the cards may have gotten torn or ripped or whatever because he was that mad.
I love when that happens.
It was pretty great. I liked it a lot.
I have not been to that point yet in my career. I hope I never do.
Where you just fucking
need to
flip
rip the cards, like, literally rip cards apart and just throw them.
I haven't seen that yet. I point out the most fucked up cards out of anybody I've ever met. By the way, I see marks all the time.
Yeah,
and I point them out every time. Even though, like, I'll never see them across the table. Viewspark in the chat. What's the worst poker room in Vegas, Dan?
So
I think it depends what we qualify.
Right.
Like, what are our
because I feel like
concerns?
I feel like there's a poker room at like Binion's, so that's probably not very
I think
good.
they shut down.
Oh really?
I think they shut down.
I
would say it's the one where there's no poker players. Is my least favorite. I'm not gonna go to like places that have 1 or 2 tables. I'm never going to Bally's. Sorry, guys.
I have played.
You're gonna have to fucking drag me
really?
to play some 1-2 at Bally's, dude.
Well, yeah, I played 2-5 there a few times.
Wow.
Yeah.
When?
So
during the series?
Yes, almost definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Or during the tournament series for like the World Series.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's a good game.
I bet.
Yeah.
I played at There were a couple days where some off-the-wall places that aren't busy were busy. Like Golden Nugget was super busy. And of course, I lost a bunch against.
I love
really
that
shitty
room
players.
though.
I agree.
I would never say it's
except for the cramped part.
Sure.
That's not great, but the players are bad, and you can buy them for whatever you want.
Yeah,
that's pretty nice. And cash plays
is 1-2 is no cap, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1-2 no cap. Sit down with 5K.
Right. I played that once this year actually.
I played it a few days and I lost. Great. I shared some pretty hilarious stories actually. There's a really old guy that was commentating on every single thing that was happening. Great. He was the kind of guy who might say, I see you're 25 and raise you 50 more. Because I think you're weak. What did he tell me? He said, well, son, I think you're trying to make a play on me there, and I just don't have the cards to call you. All right, dude. That's great. You're right. But, yeah.
So, like, in my eyes, like, the real poker rooms in Vegas are, like, Caesars, Wynn, Venetian, Bellagio, Aria. I think that's it. Maybe I missed one.
Wynn, Venetian,
for the ones you can
Aria.
play 2-5 plus on the strip.
I would take Caesars out of that, man.
Kind of, yeah. I wasn't sure, but
Wynn,
still.
Aria, Bellagio, Venetian.
Of all those,
and Orleans if you like shitty limit games.
That's true.
They're busy every day.
They're really
every
busy.
day. Play 8-16. Go.
Yeah. But I would say for like quality of like the game, if you're like looking for like bad players, I would say Aria is probably, I think, in my opinion, the worst.
Worst players or worse?
Worst to play at.
I think it depends on the day.
I don't go there very often, but I feel like I always go on the wrong day.
Yesterday was the wrong day to play there. I'll tell you what. But I think when things are busy in town, Aria's a fine room. Like
it's also so cramped too. I can't constantly being bumped into.
It's a little cramped. Not my favorite. Yeah. I would say on average, Bellagio players are much worse than Aria for sure. And then I don't really have a good understanding of Wynn or Venetian. I know you play at Wynn a lot. Yeah. It sounds like I've played at Venetian more than you recently, but that shit's about to change. Fuck that rule. And their attitudes also. But yeah, I like Bellagio a lot, man. 2040 limit hold'em. So bad.
Bad. Have you played that recently?
I played it a lot.
Wow.
Not recently, but I played it for like a month straight, dude.
I played that when
They were so bad.
Like moved out, or like when I visited out here before I moved out here.
So bad.
But
every day, same people, every day. They're terrible, except for Roy Cook and like Mason Malmuth. People writing books and articles and shit. Like
they're playing the 2040.
Yeah.
I mean, well, what can you make? Like maybe $50 an hour.
Yeah, is the top end that they would say.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. They've just been doing it for 30 years, so they just keep doing it. It's like not their primary source of income or anything like that, right?
Right. I mean, and yeah. but does 40/80 run too?
Yeah, every day.
It's what would the hourly there be? 80.
Yeah, I would guess 80 to 100.
Yeah.
If you're good. And I'm probably not. My hourly so far is way better than all of that. But I'm probably bad and on a very lucky streak. Planes are loud. What else do we want to talk about? So I think we agree with treat rec players nice. Yeah, definitely nothing wrong with $50 an hour. But I'm just not that good at limit hold'em. So I don't think if I played 2,000 hours, I'm making 50 an hour. So I don't think I'm very good. I still have a lot of holes in my limit hold'em game. I have a book right over there somewhere that I should fucking read. But I haven't. Yeah.
I have that same book.
I've read like 20% of it, I think. And there's like, that book goes hard, dude. That book, what is it called? Hold'em Poker for Advanced Players by Sklansky and Mason Malamuth. They go hard, dude. They start out just ripping into some serious poker terms without fucking explaining them, which I'm cool with, but...
Right. Those old books were awesome.
Damn.
There was one other limit book that was like really good. It was about shorthanded online play. And like, that's like all I used to read when I used to play limit.
FuseBark asks, what's the best bankroll app? I don't know the answer to that. I have one and I don't like it.
Which one do you have?
Poker Manager? Let me see.
I always forget the name of mine.
Poker Manager something. Poker Manager. That's it. Poker Manager. And I don't like it.
I don't think I've even seen that one.
I don't like how the first thing it tells you is your results. Straight up. Right in your face. I don't like that. I don't like the way filtering works.
It's usually a positive thing, right?
No, I don't want that. I don't want to think about my results. Until like lots of time goes by. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get in that downswing like you and then be upset for 2 months. I want to, live in a fantasy world where I'm still making money.
Yeah, but then I just filter it, like my graph to previous dates. So I just constantly look at.
You're like, the last 5 years. The last 5 years are pretty sick.
Yeah.
I shouldn't worry about this last week. Yeah, I don't have 5 years on there though. I can't do that.
I use Poker Income.
Poker Income. Does it export to Excel? For taxes.
I don't know how to do any of that type of stuff.
Okay.
I would assume so.
Okay. Mine definitely does, and I don't like it. I don't like how the filtering works. I don't like how it tells me my results. That light is straight up out.
Export data.
There you go.
I think it's an option, yeah.
There you go. So yeah, great answer. 2 professionals here, knowing everything about all the bankroll apps. You heard it here first. We don't know.
I think it's very necessary, though.
Yeah, you should have one. Right? Do you have any tax tips, Dan? Do them? Would be my tax tip. Probably do them.
Yeah, I would say try not to get audited.
Try not to get audited. Yo, my tax stuff is going to be whack. I haven't done taxes for poker before. This year or last year. I still haven't done it, and it's gonna be a fucking mess because I traveled and I'm deducting stuff, and like I want to deduct my mileage, and that's complicated.
Yeah, I was listening to that podcast. It doesn't sound fun. Like mileage between casinos. Is that what it was?
Well, what I'm gonna do to simplify it is it's gonna be mileage from here to a casino, right? So I have in my poker app. Each casino, right? So I'm going to figure out what the mileage is from here to each casino, and then...
Can you just do the average to make it easy?
That sounds good, but then if I get audited, I'm fucked. So what I'm going to do is, like, here to Bellagio, here to Caesars, here to Aria, right? And those ones obviously, I don't know, compared to me going to Arizona, a lot less impactful, but... I'm just going to do those. And then Excel, the newer versions of Excel are pretty tight in that when you start filling in the same type of data under the same type of shit, often it'll start to autofill. So once I have one in for Aria, right, I'll punch in like 4 more, and then I should be able to have all of the arias autofilled to whatever that amount is. So it shouldn't take too much work. But yeah, do taxes.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, there is a standard mileage deduction, but I think that's the dollars that are standardized, right? It's per mile, you get X dollars. But I'm going to have a tax guy do all the work, basically. I'm going to be like, here's the numbers. Here's what I did. Here's what happened. You'd fix it for me, please? Because I don't want to do that. Because it's going to be very complex. Because I also worked retail, like half the year. I sold a bunch of stock, and like my taxes are going to be strange.
Where'd you work?
I worked at Microsoft store.
Oh, cool.
Fixed computers. And told people what to do with their life. And yelled at other people.
Did you tell them to go play poker?
No. I told them how to resolve their many issues with technology. Primarily. Like, I can't blah. Well, stop being an idiot and do this. Or, I lost all my pictures. Well, let me set you up on an automatically backing up shit so that doesn't happen. That type of stuff. Yeah. I opened a store. That was fun. Nashville store. I opened that shit.
Wait, what?
The Nashville Microsoft store. I was instrumental in the opening of that store. I taught all the techs how to do their job. That was pretty cool. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. What else do you want to talk about? We'll field some questions from the chat. I think we agreed on what I was trying to get out there, which was treat recreational players nice. Just go ahead and
way better than the professionals, yeah.
Just fucking show your goddamn hand.
Yeah.
When they're being a little baby about showing theirs. But like if I knew that was a pro, I did 100% the right thing, right? Just kind of stare at them and wait.
Oh, it's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels great.
It does.
When you know that they don't have shit, but you want to know precisely which shit they don't have, and then they have to have the internal struggle of, do I fucking show to see what you called with, or do I muck?
I haven't seen this in a while, but I loved when people would be like, dealer, I want to see that hands when they go to muck.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think at some casinos you have the right to see their hand.
A lot in California.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in a long time. I hope I see that soon.
That's fun.
Not to me, but...
A friend of mine that I played a lot of poker with would ask for that. He would be the guy because he didn't give a shit what people thought. He wanted people pissed off at him because he thought they would like play hard against him or whatever.
Yeah.
So he would also, anytime there was an all-in and a call, you could ask to see all the hands that were still in play. So he'd be like, dealer, I'd like to see both hands immediately. And then the dealer would cover the muck instantly. And then, when they're tossed over, tap it on the muck to make it illegitimate from winning, and then flip it over. And then if they flipped over the winning hand, sometimes they would still award the pot. Which is so fucking retarded, but whatever. How do you feel about must-move tables? I have my own feelings on this.
All right, you go.
Generally, I think it's retarded. And it's confusing, and it causes a mess. There are specific circumstances, and I haven't really thought about how and why they're good and when, but I can see that there are scenarios when it's good, but when people have like a blanket, always must move, or like must move for an hour and then it's not, like generally speaking, I don't like it. It's nice to make sure that at least one of your tables is full, right? That's neat, but you can also just do that. If you have a semi-busy poker room, you can just do it. People come in and you send them to the table with the less people, right? I don't know. I don't like it most of the time, and it turns into, at Bellagio I see this a lot. It turns into a huge fucking argument between the floormen and the players that have played there for 10 or 20 years, where whenever there's like a minute little change about the must move, everybody gets into a fucking argument about it for a goddamn hour. And I hate it. Like, how about you just play poker? Can we just play poker? That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't have like strong feelings about must moves, but I will say at Caesars, I think it's so weird. So they have a must move, and it's a must move for an hour.
Yep.
But the way it works is when a seat opens up on the main table, it's pretty much just like if anybody wants to go, they can go. They don't like, and typically they would go down the list, right?
Yeah.
So like the first person that sat down at the new table,
yeah,
or the last, the person that's been there the longest would have to go to that main table. But at Caesars, they're just like, they go down the list and they ask you if you want to go. You have the first option to go.
Can I say no?
Yeah.
So
and then I think the last person is forced to move.
First to move, Joe, would you like to go? Fuck that. Okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then they go down the list, and then like,
that's terrible.
You got to stand down there at the bottom, and like, he's fucked. He's got to go.
They shouldn't call that must move. They should call that, we're gonna fill that shit.
Right.
We're gonna fill that table up, but like, the rules are dumb.
Yeah.
I've never gone through that.
Right. Other than that, I haven't experienced a lot of like, I guess I just play too much online, but.
Do you know who Zay Jones is?
I am a Buffalo Bills fan, actually.
What do you think his drug of choice is?
I saw that today. I don't know what happened there.
Some news?
It's kind of upsetting, yeah.
You got arrested or what?
I think it might have been like an attempted suicide.
Whoa.
But it could have just been like some pretty like bath salts. I haven't like looked at it since like this morning.
Joking about attempted suicides in the PCS Poker Cast chat. I like it.
Yeah.
Strong plays coming out.
Yeah, he was a rookie this year. But
for the Bills, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad. That sucks, man.
Just drug of choices.
Maybe don't do serious drugs that. It
was actually kind of funny because I started looking up. Like I woke up and it was like it popped up, and so like one of the drugs that they were saying, or like it could have been, was something called Flakka.
I've heard of that.
It's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah.
So I started looking like on YouTube.
Yeah, that's some shit, dude.
And I watched.
Came in through Florida
because of that happening
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but because I looked at the Zay Jones thing earlier, I started watching people tripping on Flakka, and that's pretty messed up.
Flakka is some shit. Don't do it.
Right. People
generally don't do speed-related things. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or like do hard chemicals that were made for fucking up your brain. Maybe don't do those.
Yeah. Yeah, the video was insane. There's a lot of blood. I still don't understand what happened.
What?
I think he put his foot through like a window on the 30th floor.
Wow.
And then there was just a bunch of blood.
Wow.
And he was naked.
Okay.
So
it's a hell of a drug. Whatever
I hope he's okay.
I agree.
I'm a fan, and he's a human. But
I'm a fan of humans.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Hoagie
This says TMZ video is pretty insane.
It is.
I don't know why you're watching TMZ, but all right.
I don't know.
All right. Dan, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
How do we get to Zay Jones?
You just brought it up. He said a bunch of, I don't know.
I think he was
letters that I don't know what they mean.
Well, yeah, I don't know what those letters mean, but I think he's saying that he won a 2K pot when he was forced to show a bluff, and then it happened to be the best hands.
Oh, yeah.
So
I love it when my bluff wins when they call. That shit is outrageous.
Yeah.
I love it so much. My third pair is good? What? My ace high is good? And they called? Shit is great. I want to see that hand. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. I love that. Dealer, show both hands, please. I've heard that a lot. Sitting next to my friend. I'd like to see both hands. Thank you very much. And then sometimes they don't cover the muck, and the guys muck it, and they're like, oh, shit, they already mucked. And he's like, you're supposed to cover the muck! Are we playing at WSOP main? I'm probably not.
I
costs a lot of money, dude.
Yeah.
I would need some help with that. That's a lot of money. I would love to.
It's not very hard to get the help, but
I need help. Please help.
I always struggle with like how much I'd want to sell.
I'm ready to sell 90%.
Really?
Yes.
Like you think you could give away 90% if you won 8 million?
Yes.
I
Because I wouldn't
I
be
know
seated
I'd have
there.
to, but like
I can do it. I'm ready.
It
Sign the
suck.
contracts. Let's go. I will give up 90% for 90% backing. Yeah, I'm not satelliting in, probably. I don't know. I'll look at
Why
them.
not? Yeah.
Maybe they're... I have heard good things about like how bad of players play the satellites, so
Right.
maybe.
I think a lot of people just grind those actually all summer. Or like the 1K sit and goes or whatever they are.
Interesting. And then just sell the chips?
Yeah. Because they give you different chips.
Mm-hmm.
So when you win like the sit and go or whatever, they give you these like fake chips. I don't even, but they can only be used to buy into the tournaments.
So you sell that.
Yeah. So that, but then you have to usually sell it at for a discount.
Down. Yeah. That makes sense. I believe I have heard of U-Stake.
Yeah, U-Stake. Somebody owns it. Some poker player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just put your name out there and get people to. It's kind of like GoFundMe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like just for poker players.
I'm gonna, if it's still available, I think I'm gonna do some of that for Bart Hansen, dude. My boy Bart Hansen. I'm gonna stake his ass while simultaneously not playing. Does that make sense? You know Bart?
Not personally, no.
Do you know him at all, though?
Yeah. Was it Crush Live Poker?
Yeah. I'm a subscriber there, and he's giving. You can buy a 1% piece or a 0.5% piece of his entire WSOP if you're a subscriber. I'm gonna do that, I think, because he wins. It turns out he's pretty good at poker.
But there's got to be like a maximum though, right? So like you probably have limited time.
Yeah, I may be out of time right now.
Right. Unless he just sold 100.
He put it up last
more than
night and got like 36, I want to say, % of the buyers already by this morning or something like that, or I don't know, some shit. He's running out. I gotta go.
I mean, it's probably a good bet.
It's probably a good bet. Bart Hansen's probably going to win money playing
poker.
No Limit Hold'em, Omaha 8 or better, and 08 Mix. Probably going to win. Except last year. He didn't win tournaments last year. He won cash.
I didn't know he actually played tournaments.
Yeah, he doesn't like very regularly. He does not charge 5 to 8% upcharge because he's charging. It's only for subscribers to his website. So he's like, "Hey, it's free. Like, you get exactly the money you put into it for funsies. Let's go." Which is pretty cool. But I think it would probably be worth it at a 5% upcharge. I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know. So I don't know. That's all I really got, Dan. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Any thoughts ruminating in your head lately?
No. I do kind of want to play
That WSOP?
Yeah.
All right.
How do you feel about that?
I'm 100% down. I gotta pee. I gotta smoke. But current Twitch and other live stream viewers, thank you for viewing us on the live stream. We're gonna, well, first I'm gonna do the outro to the show, and then after that, we're gonna play online my money, because that's a good idea. And Dan's gonna give me some coaching advice here, because I am not a 6max online player for the most part. All I do is lose very slowly over time. That's my goal when playing online, is to lose it slowly. So we're gonna play some online. We're gonna change up the stream logos and bullshit. So yeah, give us like 5 or 10 minutes and we'll be back to play some poker live on the internet. But first, where can people find you, Dan? Where can they look at your pictures? Comment on you?
Right there. I don't use social media very much. I have a Facebook.
I noticed that.
But I do not use it.
I noticed that your Instagram has very old pictures.
My Instagram is my most active social account.
Which is not very active.
No. But I
like
try. I'm trying to do better with that.
Yeah, me too. I just like before. No, I'm just gonna say it right now. Even my entire life, I've just never given a shit about taking pictures. So for me, it's very difficult. I see the value and I see that people like it, so I want to do it more. And sometimes there is funny, cool shit to take pictures of, but for the most part, I'm pretty bad at that. I tweet a lot, but I pretty much tweet about like, "Hey, this show is gonna happen," or like somebody says something that's really, really stupid on Twitter, and I respond and I'm like, "Facts."
Yeah, I also don't use Twitter, so I don't know.
All right. Well, people can find you DanSham2
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Dan's Ham too.
Dan's Ham. Oh, I said that totally wrong. It could have been like
It's both
Irish,
ways,
dude.
to be honest.
Could have been Irish, bro.
Literally no meaning behind it. My
Dan
friends,
Shamrock.
like 10 years ago, was like, "This is funny."
Dan's Ham too. Are they talking about your butt?
I don't know.
You can find me on Instagram at DJ8bit Avenger because somebody stole my name. On Twitter at 8bit Avenger. For those of you listening through SoundCloud or your favorite podcast app, you're missing out on things like that live poker sesh we're about to play. So hit us up at twitch.tv/8bitavenger, youtube.com/8bitavenger, etc. to try to follow along and see hype cool stuff like randomly we feel like playing poker on the internet. As always, you can email us at pcspoker@mail.com with your thoughts, your advice, your comments, concerns, questions. We field questions from the chat as well, but it's nice to get some via old school email. And that's basically all I got for the rest of the show. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. It was fun.
And thanks everybody for watching and listening. We'll see you again in like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes for that internet gaming. Bye, everyone.